All right, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay, so the question that you asked last week about how do we serve our ideal client,
Mm-hmm.
and I know who I'm serving, right? I know who I'm talking to. I know who my clients are. I'm just trying to maybe navigate in a way where I'm not necessarily solving their problems, because I don't want to solve their problems. I don't want them to be dependent on me to say, oh, I always have to talk to Tamika, because I'm getting that sometimes. I get that. I get, oh, I just want to call and see what you think. And I'm like, huh? No, what you think? And I pose a question back to them. So, and this is my core group of people that I know, but they call me because they're like, well, what you think, or what you think I should do, or whatever. And I'm like, no, 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 I want to be responsible for how you handle the things that's going on in your life. That's your responsibility.
Yeah.
So I think I'm really just trying to find a way to handle that in a way where I'm not taking full ownership of their shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And giving and empowering them so they can figure it out themselves. The ones who I do talk to about navigating through whatever that they're dealing with, whether it be, you know, um, relationship wise or motivation, or whatever it is, they that's their stuff. So yeah, so I keep coming up with um, reminding them.
Yeah.
And you and I had this conversation before, but I don't know how to put it in a way that that would be considered a business.
Yeah, because
You
you want to
know,
remind people.
right? So it's like, if I'm reminding you, I mean, you can set an alarm, you can do all, you know what I'm saying? But 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 my reminders are essential. Okay, these are important reminders. So how do I put that in a space? Because I am aware I'm creating my own space. This is a whole new entity, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, nobody else is doing the whole, you know Pisces thing to the way that I want to do it, so it's really just like starting from the ground floor. And it's just like, all right, well, how do I these are the things that I say to myself. How do I support people in their self-care journey without um, making them dependent on me, or feeling that I have all the answers? You understand what I'm saying? Why don't I have my 420? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry right now. Like, seriously, I
No,
don't even.
okay.
Man, but
No, no,
that's
no,
cool.
no. Okay. So you're doing a lot in this you're doing a lot in this thought process. So what is the resistance against problem solving? So I hear you don't want to bear the burden, but I think that's different than being accountable for the offering a solution for somebody else's problem. I think that's the difference, right? Like even a reminder solves a problem. It doesn't matter how important the reminder is if it
Mhm.
doesn't solve a problem. If I need to get up in
Mhm.
the morning to go to work and I need something to solve the problem of waking up on time, I don't know if I'm going
Mhm.
to, I'm worried, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. Those are all
Right.
problems that somebody might be having in real time, right?
Right.
So the alarm serves as the solution to that problem.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
the alarm was like, you know what? I don't want to solve your problem today. Well, nobody's buying that shit.
Mhm.
Nobody's doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
So instead of looking at it from the point of view of you are bearing the burden of responsibility for something, you really need to start looking at it more from the person who's receiving you in that current moment, right? So if you're
Mhm.
interacting with somebody who's suffering or dealing with or burdened with anxiety, stress, and worry, what can you do to
Mhm.
help them get through that? How can you be of service to them in that moment, right? And so being clear
Right.
about what you offer, because the thing is, you know what you offer, you know what you want to
Right.
give, you know what you're good at. We've gone through all of those things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
what we're not, like, we're not transitioning our perspective to be inclusive of the potential client, right? And so we have to recognize our role as service providers, because I think we kind of confuse what service actually means when we're giving
Mm.
service. You see what I'm saying?
That's
Because
it. Yeah. No. That's it. That's it.
tell me
That's
more.
it. That's it. That's it. When you said confusing, because I think that that is it. You know, I when I'm speaking from a space of supporting people that they can call me. They can call me day or night. You know, and it's like, well, okay, so how do I transition that into and not for those particular people, but for other people, and make it a business, make them a client. And I think I'm hung up on what I'm already doing
Hmm.
and thinking, how am I going to do this for other people? Like, yeah, I do get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about that. Okay,
And,
like
and
I'm not transitioning. I'm not. I'm not thinking about it like that. That's what I'm doing. That's what I feel. I feel like I'm not thinking about it in a way that that I can apply it to somebody who doesn't know me, if that makes sense.
right. So first you got to get to know the people who want to know you.
Mhm. Mhm.
You got to get to know what they want. You got to get to know what they need. You need to get to know where your people are
Mhm.
psychologically, mentally, physically. Like, you need to get to know that
Mhm.
instead of assuming that that's what they need or want, because that's
Right.
what and then so the first thing I thought of when we started talking was boundary setting. So not blocking people, right? But really creating a clear engagement strategy with who you're dealing with. And when you're dealing with friends, and I know you heard me say this, like, friends and family, they ain't they ain't it.
Yeah. You know what? As soon as you said boundary, the first thing that popped in my head was with me. I think the fear for me is overwhelming.
It is overwhelming.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah, it's overwhelming.
Mhm.
Take a step into the overwhelm and feel it.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
It's
That's what it
very
is.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
The first time you make transaction, it's overwhelming.
Mhm.
The first time you receive money for something that you're not 100% sure if it's a good thing, but somebody else tells you it is a good thing, that shit
Yeah.
feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mm.
so, and the more that you have certain engagements, the more that you can create firmer boundaries around what you do and why you offer what you offer. Because what I got to give is valuable. Because
Right.
I can quantify the value when I'm engaging with you, and I'm not dealing with you unless you acknowledge that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right? And
Mhm.
then when you
Mhm.
do choose to engage with them under very specific circumstances, then you are having a very mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then the
Yeah.
conversations look more like, this is what I give, you receive this is what you give, and I receive that. And a lot of
Mhm.
we forget the part of us also receiving as business owners in the sense of either monetary exchange or even just an exchange of value, which is like bartering and, that kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
it serves both parties involved. And so you get to vet who you deal with, just like your customer gets to vet who
True.
they're dealing with. You see what I'm saying?
True.
If you're
Mhm.
offering a solution for a problem that they got, whether you think is a problem or not, if they say that's
Mhm.
their problem, you have to respect it. It's
Yeah.
actually quite selfish for you to act like their problem isn't a problem that needs solving.
Mm.
You are holding them
Wow.
hostage.
Wow. Wow. Mm. Mm. Okay. Wow. Now that's a true definition of selfish.
Right?
That's a true definition of selfish. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. I actually do feel a little lighter about it, especially saying what I was actually really feeling, because I couldn't really. I'm like, what is it? What's the, you know, what's the holdup? What's the resistance about it? And just just the transition of it all, just looking at it differently, and also, not being selfish by, and not being, and not the selfishness of me, but just of not allowing for them to just be who they are.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And so and that so it's your duty to build boundaries,
yeah, yeah.
right? To
And
protect.
I tell that to my Pisces people all the time.
Yeah.
I tell them that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
create boundaries, like preserve your energy. Not so much protect, but preserve your energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see, you tell people things and then you don't do the things that you tell people to do.
Well, I mean, that's real. Um
That's that's real shit right there.
it's a real struggle. I mean, and especially obviously we're both Pisces, right? Like so that's a real lifelong struggle to be able to really create boundaries in all different circumstances. You see what I'm saying? So to create boundaries in your job or to create boundaries with your significant other, your friend, that it looks a little different. It
Yeah, yeah.
looks,
No, it does. It
yeah,
does. It does. It does. Because the way I create boundaries around my patients, there's I talk about them, their medical history, things like that. They want to kind of ask me a couple questions, and I structure a boundary, like, so I get that. I just haven't been able to do that with the people who I'm serving, if that makes sense, or who I want to serve. I just haven't been able to um, figure that out. I mean, one of the boundaries that I have created was, if someone calls and I kind of have an idea of what they want to talk about, I don't answer the phone. That's, but that serves me and that helps me. Um,
but even just
but
even just saying instead of it being a situation where you have to not answer, why can't it be, you know what, between 8 and 9, I'm not available.
right, yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't been able to do that with um, my friends, that are Pisces that call me because they're my friends, right? And they call me whenever, whatever. Um, and I think I'm confusing what it looks like with my friends next to my potential clients. You know what I mean? So you're right. I do have to create some boundaries in that and just be serious about it,
Yeah.
because sometimes, we'd be like, oh, okay, that's all right, okay,
Hmm.
and yeah, that's not going to work, because what I'm concerned about is my overwhelmment, like preserving my energy. as
Mhm.
well,
So we
because it's
go ahead.
not like a product based business, it's more of a service base, and I'm the provider. So yeah, sometimes I think about it and I get a little nervous about it. I get a little scared about it. It's like, because people be getting on my nerves,
Facts.
but I love them, but they
Facts.
get on my nerves,
Yes, ma'am.
and I can't always, and I don't want to always solve your problem. Don't come to me all the time about every little damn thing that's going on because I gave you the right answer, or I showed you a different way of looking at it. That's all I do. Is show
Hmm.
people a different way of looking at shit, you know, and that's what you
Uh-uh.
do too.
No, don't undermine that shit. Don't
No,
do
no, that's not I'm not undermining it. That's what I actually really believe. I really believe that I show people how to look at things differently, or to give them a different point of view.
okay.
Like that. Like no, that's real. That's
Okay. Let's
people
talk.
need that
No,
because you do that.
let's talk to it though. Let's talk to it. All right. So you give perspective.
I do. Right. I get perspective. Okay.
How valuable is a wide range of perspective,
It's very valuable.
right? It adds to overall quality of life, purpose, right? Expansiveness,
Yes.
to more opportunity, access to better decision making, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Perspective is
Aha moments. Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
required for human growth and development in order to achieve whatever your higher purpose is. And so
Facts.
the perspective that you have versus the perspective that I have is both, we both got perspective.
Right.
Perspective ain't better than your perspective.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
got your own perspective to offer,
Mhm.
right? And that
Mhm.
perspective is intended to serve a certain group of people, right? And your people happen to be Pisces people. You've already identified that. And so
Mhm.
now you're holding your perspective hostage because you think that's all you do.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I see. I see your perspective. I see your perspective. Okay. Okay. Damn. Damn. Okay. All right. Mhm. I get it. I get it. Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting because I didn't really think my thought was I wasn't undermining it, but now that you've given me a different perspective, maybe I was, you know, maybe I was trying to make it light, or not so hard. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I get to enjoy my 420 and write out different perspectives. Like I get to work with that because really, like I've been thinking about it since Monday. I wrote it down and I was just writing stuff down, and oh, oh, oh. I'm like, when we doing a color one up Monday? Okay, I still have some time.
See
I'm
what
like, I got some time. I'm like, all right, Saturday. I'm gonna sit down and I'm really
we are at a point where it's time that we start confronting some of those demons. Like we're at the point of doing. We're not at the point of conceptualizing, identifying, surveilling. We're not there anymore. We're
right.
doing stuff, right? We're doing.
No, that's how I feel. And when you said that, um, was it Monday? Yeah, when you said
Yeah.
that on Monday, I was just like, oh well, we about to get it in right now.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I felt that. I felt that. I was like, okay, that's why I was like, all right, let me look. This is in my car. What problem am I solving for my ideal client? It is sitting right here. Like, and so I look at it all the time because I'm thinking about it. Like, all right,
Yeah.
because I know it's about to get real.
Yes, we got stuff to
Hmm.
do. It's stuff to
Hmm.
do today. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have plans. We have stuff to do. It's all
Hmm.
planned out. We have the
Hmm.
construct. We have the frameworks. We have been. If you've been writing in your journal regularly, you have
Hmm.
all the tools you need to do.
No, seriously, seriously, seriously. No, I get that. I get that. And I feel that too. And that's why I was like, I'm like, no, let me really focus on this. Like, not so much focus, but more just like be intentional about what I'm doing. That's why I just kind of wrote it out. Like, just wrote shit out. Like, all right, okay, I'm gonna just put that there. I did a meditation. I went to the beach, and just trying to work it out, just working it out. That's what
Yeah,
I'm doing. I'm working it out. I'm working
yeah.
it out. So
We all are.
because I do feel that because this is what I'm doing, I'm attracting a lot of people, and they're not all Pisces, right? So it's like, well, I know I could support them. Let me tell her this, and let me just I know she's an Aquarius, but look, this is you know, and so yeah, so I know that and I understand that Pisces is just is my gateway.
Mhm.
That's my gateway.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
So since we've been sitting here talking about these Pisces people, who are these Pisces people we referring to?
So I actually have a lot of okay. So I have a Pisces friend that lives in Maryland. I have a Pisces that's out here. She's a teacher. I have another Pisces um, that I do the coffee mugs with and the caps. I have another Pisces. Well, my Pisces opinion podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies from that podcast, and those are my core Pisces that I'm constantly working things out on them. They are my practice grid, basically. So I'm saying certain things, or I'm doing certain things, or asking certain questions, and then I'll ask the same question to another Pisces and see how they respond to it, or ask. So I'm just really just asking a lot of questions and just figuring out who they are
Mm-hmm.
and what they're doing, and also being when they talk to me, being a loving interruption into whatever shit that they got going on, you know. So
Are, are
so
you
they are practice.
are you documenting all of this?
No, I'm gonna be completely honest, because it'll be like a phone call, or I'm sitting at the beach, or something, and it'll just flow.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just flow, and I'll think about it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what, I'm gonna ask that to Pisces. I'm gonna ask that to Radiant. So I'm gonna test it out and see if such and such. So yeah, no, I'm not I'm not a I may write things down, but rarely do I go back and read over it. I every now and then, when I'm feeling in the mood, I'll pull out my a journal or something, and I'll just kind of look over it. But I don't know. I just kind of I have this thing, like, it's done, it's over, it's done, it's done. But I do understand that the documentation can support me. When I did a
Wait,
workshop.
wait. Don't keep going. Wait,
Oh, okay,
wait,
okay.
wait, wait. So you do understand. So you do understand that the documentation. What do you mean by that? What's going on?
Well, the reason why I know that it works, far as like documenting, because um, I did a workshop, and I had to create the structure and the foundation of it, right? So I had to set everything up, and it was such a pain in the ass, but it worked, and yeah, maybe I'm resisting that too.
She said, fine, fine. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'm resisting that too because, yeah.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing. There are some things that you probably can't foresee right now. And I'm giving you a word of caution because I've been through it to
Hmm.
document everything consistently. So if you have a page full of people in your journal that you write down the contact for, do it. If you do
Mm.
better with a note in your notes section of your iPhone, do it.
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
do better with Excel spreadsheets or any other grid format or whatever, write the stuff down. If you're collecting cards, write notes on the cards, right? You need to have some way to refer to all the people that you've dealt with over this time. Otherwise, this time is not valuable. You will have done it and have gotten to the other side, and you're going to be sitting there like you're sitting there looking at scratch.
Mm.
If somebody asks you the question about your framework or where your email list is or where the tags are to your email list, and somebody's having that conversation with you because you don't want to deal with it, they can't do their job.
Yeah. 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 All right. I have to. I have to. I get to change the way I look at it because the way I look at it is to me it's work that I don't want to do. Right. So I get to change the way I look at it.
You got this.
Mhm.
You identified the gift already. You can't unknow it.
Mhm. No, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. I'm trying to think like what would be the easiest way for me because I'm all for the path of least resistance, okay? Okay? Like seriously. I'm thinking of the easiest way. It's going to come to me. I'm going to find it.
The easiest
Um
way to what?
the easiest way of like of the documenting, the whole
What? How do you already keep track of stuff? Like, how do you do
I
that?
put it in my calendar. I put everything in my calendar.
Okay, cool.
Everything.
So you also got a note section.
Yeah.
Go to that, and at the top,
Yeah.
if you have a thought, you put a title on there, and then you just keep going and let you search for the title of the name of the titles that you put in there. So, like, I got a Tamika,
Yeah.
I got a Tamika file. I'm like, oh, I had this thought about Tamika. Let me write that in my Tamika file, right?
Hmm. Okay. That's easy. I could do that
And you just keep it
because
up.
that's why I put my shopping list.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be challenging. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Until you get to the point where somebody can do it effectively and efficiently and probably way better than you, all you need
Mhm.
is to have it. I showed this at the last video. I was talking to my analyst yesterday. This is the video. This is what I sent him. I said,
That's some
I said,
Pisces shit.
I said that's the framework.
That's some Pisces shit right there. Oh my gosh. You look. You see mine. You see this, and this is one of my patients wrote a coupon out on this paper, and I took it, and I was like, okay, what problem am I solving for? That's
Right.
how I keep my notes. That's how because, but I really do like the idea of using it and like documenting what's happening with my Pisces people or that I even want to discuss with my Pisces people
Hmm.
in my calendar.
Yeah.
Like,
And so
why didn't I even think about that?
that's why going back to the boundaries conversation, that's why having those boundaries are important because then it gives you space and time. If I talk to Tamika at 1 o'clock p.m., I know that between 2 and 2:15, I might be jotting some notes down. I might be following up with whatever she asked me. Like I know
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
time
yeah.
is specific for that thing that I just did.
Mhm, mhm.
So you have to create those very strong boundaries because there's still time you need to rest. Like you don't want to burn yourself out. It's very easy to get like lost in flow and you burn yourself out because you just
That's
move.
true. That's true. That is true. That is true. You do get lost. You do
Hmm.
get lost in flow. That's me at the beach. I'll be at the beach and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just have a cup of coffee and
Hmm.
sit here for an hour, and then it'll be 4 or 5 hours,
Yes.
and I'll be then listen to something or, you know, meditated,
Yes. That's
all
real.
of that. Mhm.
And so that's the difference. It's about recognizing like there are different aspects of you that just need to be pulled out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and so you're good at the visionary aspect. That's the
Mhm.
CEO kind of mindset where you're able to see into the future. You can see how the creation that you've done, but then it's the technical aspect of taking all the little steps to get to each milestone that you're probably wanting to resist more. You just want to be at the vision. You a Pisces, like you
Yeah.
just
I just want to just do it. Yeah. Mhm.
let's be there, you
Yeah.
know? And so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to find ways to balance, and that's the difference between masculine and feminine. So we talked about divine masculine, divine feminine at that one call, and that divine feminine is that very open, airy, movie type
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
It cuts through the ground, like it reminds me of the Grand Canyon, things like that, like separating the earth with that
Yeah.
energy. But what you need is to chip away with some sort of tool, like a hammer or something like
Right.
that. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's the thing that
Mhm.
you want. That's the more
Yeah.
masculine energy that we're referring to. So you got to find
Mhm.
a balance to bring yourself down there until you can divide yourself. And so the first step is to solve somebody's problem so we can get there.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. The masculine and the feminine energy. It is a masculine energy. Like
Yeah.
I I know that even at work when I'm using my masculine energy, it's like I'm serious. Like I'm looking over my glasses and I'm like, "Do you have any allergies?" You know? So there's a certain way I go about it, and okay, so I get to create that in my Pisces business. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
You got some
Masculine and
action.
feminine.
This was not
Yeah.
the intention of this call, but you got some action.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, it wasn't because my intention for this call was some 420.
right?
Okay, but I pulled over because I didn't want to be on the 405. So that's why I just
Yeah.
pulled over. And I was like,
Oh, it's okay. It's all good. I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
ended up being
yeah.
a really good conversation. So let me ask you, what do you plan on doing next?
Um, I was actually thinking about going into my calendar and just familiarizing myself with what I could do in my calendar.
Yeah.
Because really, all I just do is just like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing that. But I know there are other aspects that I can utilize in my calendar. So that was the first thing that I thought about doing. And
Yes.
it's funny because when you asked me about who are these Pisces people, I'm like, okay, so now I can start arranging them in my calendar, and and maybe even having a question posed that I know that they're dealing with,
Hmm.
just so I can kind of go to it, because I mean, my calendar is basically everything for me. That's what keeps the structure.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me from saying, okay, I gotta be at work tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
your calendar has all types of tools in it. So you can separate it by email. Like if you have a separate email account, you'll have two separate calendars in there and you can filter it out so you only see one calendar at a time. You can put
Mm,
dates in there.
mhm.
You can put travel time in there. You can put like when you're driving to from one place to another, you can book your calendar where it tells you how long you're going to drive using Google Maps.
Yeah.
You can
Hmm.
label it with people's names. Like when I'm meeting with you, it says Tamika and Ash. I know who I'm talking to. While I'm talking to them, I probably put notes in there, a little heading in there to let me know what we're going to cover, whatever. If I don't
Got
put
it.
it here, so if I don't want you to see it, I'm gonna put it in my notes section. That's where the Tamika file goes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right.
And then now we're at a point where we're transferring your files to an electronic, what we call a CRM. And now we're going to have it organized where I can see all messages, all
Okay.
I can text you, I can email you, I can transfer my notes over, I can do all that in one interface. Why is that
Oh,
possible? Because I've been keeping track of you guys.
um, got it, Pisces. Got it, Pisces. Wow. Okay. Okay. So yes, those are the first steps, and yeah, I have some thoughts running around. Like I got some thoughts. I'm thinking about certain things, how I can just be more intentional.
Yeah.
More intentional. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was great. Like I'm glad I jumped on. So what time did you start?
10 a.m. 10 a.m. baby.
You did a whole shift.
Right?
Wow. Wait, so what time is it now?
9
It's
p.m.
9:43.
Yes.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Like full on marathon. Yes.
Oh, but it was probably fun.
It was. It was really a good time. I had such a good time doing this. I think I do want to do it again, maybe quarterly, but I had to think about my capacity because I know I'm going to be like out of it tomorrow. But
Hmm.
so it was cool, one, because I got to have the one-on-one conversations with everybody in one day. I've never done that before.
Oh wow.
I usually spread you all's conversations out through, so that way I manage my time a little bit better. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so that was very interesting, and I noticed a lot of not inconsistent consistencies amongst the tribe that is like really good. Like it's beautiful.
Mm.
I love it. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Wow.
What
That's good.
else?
That's good.
I mean, and it was all on my own times too, on my own time.
Yeah.
So I blocked out about 2 hours between, I think, 3 and 5, and then I
Uh-huh.
blocked out, I think, 6 p.m. and between 6 and 7.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it was cool. I got to eat lunch. I took a long walk today. I exercised. I took my shower. I did all the things I
Yeah.
do. So it was cool.
Wow. That's actually cool. That's fun. I was wondering how it was gonna all work.
I
I
was
was like,
too. I wasn't sure.
yeah, I was like, how that's gonna work? But look, you worked it out. You
I
worked it
did.
out.
I
You
did. And
worked it out.
it was a good time. And I'm glad, you know what? And here's the thing. I'm so glad to be able to share you all's story with other people besides just us. So I think
Right.
the time that we spend together cultivating like some of the messaging and like the things that we want to talk about and really confronting ourselves, we did
Yeah.
it in a closed space because we feel safe amongst each other. But it was beautiful to be able to watch you all express yourselves outside of the group and feel comfortable and confident and project yourself
Right.
and all that kind of stuff without feeling
Mhm.
ashamed about some of the stuff that we have to talk about. Like
Right. Yeah.
nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna show up 100% all the time. There are things
Right.
that just make us feel emotional. Like that's just because we're
Mhm.
human beings, you know? And so I think that like the being able to express ourselves authentically and in the realm of cannabis, right? We have to acknowledge that like that's the thing that brought us together, but it's not just about cannabis being a plant.
Right.
It has very little to do with cannabis, to be honest with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
about human connection, being able to
Mhm.
teach people how to be their authentic selves. And the problem is the stigma requires us to hide ourselves from ourselves. And then when we
Yeah.
want to do something, we stop ourselves because we're scared.
Yeah. 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 I mean, when you talk about um, the the connectiveness that's between all of us, it always reminds me of that saying: if it's happening in one, it's happening in the collective,
Yes.
right? And so it's like when people share, what they're really going through, like they're really being authentic and vulnerable and really sharing. It's the same things that I'm going through too,
Yeah.
And so to hear people um, to hear people, talk about their struggles or their issues, whatever. It actually. Sorry, that was my sister calling. It actually. Oh, sugar. Hold on. Sorry.
So good.
Did you hear D'Angelo in the background?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I was like, how did that come? Um, but yeah, if it's happening one, it's happening in the collective, and it's great that we have a space to be able to share that. Because a lot of people they don't want to. My sister, Lord. So yeah, it all works. It all
It does.
works. It all
It
it
just
all
works,
works.
and it's
Yeah, yeah.
necessary.
It is necessary.
We're in a shift of dynamic, a significant shift in dynamic, and there are a lot of us who've gone through. A lot of us have gone through a lot in our lifetime. Um,
Hmm.
and I can only speak from a nurse's point of view. That's what I've gone through myself. And then, we both just happen to be Black women on this call. And so just recognizing our truth goes underadmired. We don't talk about it enough.
Hmm.
And I feel like creating a space where we can talk about it freely with
Hmm.
acknowledgement of perspective and building up collective thought is necessary to help really take things and move things forward as far
Yeah.
as how we approach healthcare as a system, how we approach capitalism, how we approach white supremacy, right? Like all those things that we speak about when it comes to inclusivity, there's no way we can say we can be inclusive of everybody unless we acknowledge everybody who's involved.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I don't believe in just creating safe spaces for specific groups of people
Right. Hmm.
because we're
Hmm.
all human.
Hmm.
But
And that's why I said about the Pisces. It's like, okay, I know I'm serving them now, but
hmm
just going to be just Pisces. Can you hear me?
yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Okay. So, no, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, any last thoughts before we go?
No, I'm glad that I was able to jump on and share how I was really feeling, and you actually pointed some things out that I didn't think about. Um, and so yeah, I just feel a little bit more refreshed.
Can you see that?
Today was entire Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool. We
Yeah.
got again. It was a vibe.
Yes.
It
It
was a
was
vibe.
the whole time. I mean, and like I said, y'all came with your own separate energy. Y'all came with your own vibe. Like y'all talked about the things that you felt were important. Y'all talked about the things that you felt would create impact. And
Mm,
guess what? Nobody condemned you for it. And I think
yeah.
a lot of us feel a lot lighter for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I feel a lot lighter because I was struggling, with working some things out, and I just had to be honest with myself. Like, well, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you gave me permission to ask myself, what am I afraid of?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have the answer? What are you afraid of?
I was, I was afraid of the overwhelmment, but once you reminded me about creating the boundaries and just things that I can do to preserve my energy, to protect myself, and still be able to serve people authentically, vulnerably, and wholly the way that I would like to. But there was a fear of I don't want to be dealing with these people all the time. Let's keep it 100. and creating boundaries doesn't necessarily mean that I'm shutting people down or I'm shutting people off.
Mm-hmm.
Creating boundaries to me now means that I am is self-care. I'm taking care of myself,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah, I just have a different perspective now and it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, I could do that. I could do
Mm-hmm.
that. I
Mm-hmm.
could do that.
You can. You
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cuz I love people, but they get on my nerves.
Facts. Come on. Facts.
I love me some people, but
Yeah. I
so
mean, yeah, people are just they do people type
people
stuff.
be people in.
Yeah.
People in, and sometimes the people in I can't do. So,
Yeah.
no. But I love them and I want to support them
Yeah.
and I want to see them thrive and I want to see them do all the things that they want to do or they get to do or they
Yeah.
love to do and be healthy, heart healthy, emotionally healthy, like
Yeah.
all of that, but on my time,
Yeah.
on my time.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, sis. I'm gonna let you go. Get on with your day. Enjoy your
All right, you good.
420.
Let me get out of here. So I got to get on this 405.
All
Lord.
right. Talk to you soon.
All right. See you later.
Bye.